It turns out it wasn't just saber rattling, right? I mean, it turns out, I don't know if he's always had it in mind that he would do this kind of thing, but he's taken it to a level I think a lot of us didn't actually believe he'd go to. So let me just ask you for your broad picture on what you think is happening here, why he's doing this.
Yeah, I get that question a lot. And, it's often said, and you're a lawyer and have been around crime. Crime is where motive meets opportunity. I think here the motive has been pretty clear for a long time that his goal is to kind of reestablish the arc of the old Soviet Union. And what he's seeking to do, Megyn, is reel back those republics that broke away, to include Armenia, Azerbaijan, Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, Belarus, and for our purposes here today, most specifically, Ukraine, which is, of course, the crown jewel of all of them in terms of strategic minerals, agrarian production. So his motive is to rebuild that Soviet Union, really recast, not as a communist project, but as the old Russian Empire. His ambition is that breathtaking. That's the motive. The opportunity, he felt the West was distracted with COVID. He felt the United States, he watched the debacle in Afghanistan and felt they're weak, they won't oppose me. He saw a new chancellor in Germany, Chancellor Scholz, and he saw the divisions here in the United States. I think he put all that together, motive, opportunity, like in Top Gun, Maverick, he took his shot. Here he is, and here we are.
How much does it have to do with his particular concerns about Ukraine, his immediate neighbor, a country he said repeatedly he views as part of Russia, a country that he has said all along he would never allow to be militarized by NATO right on his border, in the same way we here in America wouldn't allow, for example, Cuba to be militarized by another superpower? So how much of that is real and what is going into his motivation?
I think it's quite real, Megyn, and you can kind of drop a plumb line to the earliest days of Vladimir Putin and listen to his speeches and read his writing. Most recently, last summer, he published, and I think he actually wrote it, a long, lengthy essay on the importance of Russia, on the bond between Slavic peoples. I think he sincerely believes that Ukraine and the Ukrainians are really just a part of the Rodina, Mother Russia. Unfortunately for him, the Ukrainians don't see it that way. They're fighting very fiercely. They have their own language, their own culture, their own history. And at the moment, I don't see any quit on the part of the Ukrainians, nor do I see any climb down on the part of Vladimir Putin. I think it's sincere.
Can you walk us through what really happened in 2014 with the so-called Maidan Revolution, where Putin says it was a coup by the West to get rid of the pro-Russian guy who was running Ukraine, Yanukovych, and to install somebody who was more friendly to the West? You hear, Western representatives talk about that and say, no, the Ukrainians wanted democracy. But what really happened there is important, and it led to Crimea, him annexing Crimea.
So I had just left as Supreme Allied Commander in 2013. We were watching events very, very closely there. I mentioned that, Megyn, to share with you that was there a U.S. coup, or did we have involvement in pushing this through the CIA or anything else? Believe me, I would have been aware of it. We did not. It was a sincere movement on the part of the people of Ukraine who were sick of the dictator who had been driving the country, and they rose up. And this was not something manufactured from the West as much, I think, as Vladimir Putin would like to categorize it as such. It was, like all these color revolutions, a quite sincere, ground up kind of thing. And, if you think back to the Cold War, which I'm old enough to remember, and you look at the Warsaw Pact nations, tanks rolled into Budapest, tanks rolled into Prague, tanks rolled across that a stretch of Central Europe, and the people fought back. And in this case, in Ukraine, they fought back and they won. And that has stuck in Vladimir Putin's throat like a chicken bone. He just can't get out of there.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.